Hi everyone, my name is Paul Todorashka. I'm here with you today to talk about a very interesting topic. Movie makers and cartoon makers make wines and beers very fluffy and very nice animals that get along with everybody else. But in the real world, they're not as fluffy. They're not as friendly as we think they are. I mean, some of the cartoons you look at the Winnie the Pooh. Everybody likes Winnie the Pooh, nice and fluffy, friends with everybody, like a peacemaker, walks around. And some of the movies in the Lion King and stuff like that make the lion to be to look like a very friendly and good character. In the real world, it's not the same. Lions do not take any action in the role of raising their children. Females do all the hunting for the family and raising the children. All the fathers do, they stand around and look tough and maybe roll sometime or make some kind of noise to show them that they're the boss in this area and stuff like that. After bears have their cubs and it looks like they have nice and cozy family, and a situation happened where there's no food around, the bears actually, the father bear, turns around and could find if he finds any cub, he'll eat the cub. Doesn't matter if he's just a neighbor cub or it's his own cub, which is very brutal. A good example for all of you fishermen is a fish called bass. Before the little newborns are born, father protects the little fish with pride and loyalty from all the predators. But as soon as the little fish are born and they take off swimming, they're the strongest fish that swim away further. But the weakest fish that stays here, he turns around and he, instead of becoming protecting them from predators, he actually becomes a predator and eats the weakest fish or the weakest newborn. And it's almost like some kind of reward for him to protect that he protected the strongest one that just swim away. That's very brutal as well. On the other hand, we as human are designed differently. We, looking through the history, we have a mother and a father who raise the children and usually stay together through the whole life. Of course, there's a single parents out there raising the kids by themselves. You're doing a good job. I'm very proud of you. Today, I want to talk to you about why is it important for boys and girls to have a father figure in their house in order for them to become mature adults. In 1960, there was fewer than 6 million children who lived in a single family house. Today, 15 million of American children live without a father in their house. That number is only going up. There's 6 statistics that I want to talk to you about. And the first one is poverty. Children in the fatherless homes are 4 times more likely to be poor. The second one is drugs and alcohol. A child in a fatherless home is 68% more likely to use drugs and alcohol. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services stated this, quote, "Fatherless children are at a dramatically greater risk of drugs and alcohol abuse," unquote. And the third one that I want to talk to you is physical and emotional health. A child born into a single mother house shows higher aggressive level than a child who is born in a married mother house. 100 to 200% of children that born into fatherless homes will experience emotional and behavioral problems. Children that born in a single parent homes are twice as likely to commit suicide. From all the teenagers that commit suicide, 63% of them are growing up in fatherless homes. The next one that I want to talk to you about is education. 71% of children that dropped out from high school are from fatherless homes. According to middle schools and high schools, fathers who participate in school and do some kind of activities with their children being involved are more likely for their kids to have a higher grade, which is all A's. Being raised by just a mother raises the teenage pregnancy, which includes the marriage, which is both of the partners who get married don't even have their high school degrees. Number 5 is crime. 90% of homeless runaway kids are from fatherless homes. 85% of youth that sit in jails and prisons today are from fatherless homes. The interesting fact that I learned as I was doing all this research, is as there's less fathers in the neighborhood, there's a higher risk or higher crime between teenagers. And the last one will be number 6, which is sexual activity and a teen pregnancy. A study using a sample of 1,409 southern teenagers, which is 851 females and 558 males, aged between 11 and 18 years, investigated that the correlated between the father absence and the self-reported sexual activity. The children that grew up in the fatherless homes are more likely to be active in the sexual activities comparing to the children that grew up in the homes with fathers. Daughters that are raised in fatherless homes have 92% on divorce when they get married. For sons, it's 32% of marriage failure. Those statistics are very high. I'm surprised that we as a community haven't done anything to change that. In my conclusion, I want to say that back in the days when war, disease, and death took away our fathers, which was acceptable, now approaching 21st century, we see a lot of men and fathers are disconnecting from their family in a massive number. One of the scientists said that we are approaching a very dangerous time where we're becoming a fatherless society. So many times, we as a man, all that we do is just stand around and look tough and maybe grout or roll once in a while just to show that we are the man of the house, like those lines that I was talking to you about earlier. As a family man, I encourage all men to step up and invest time and energy into your family. A lot of times you hear that people say, oh, you need to spend quality time with your kids. It's all about quality time with the family. But I'd say it's not true because your kids require quantity time. It's about how much time you spend with them. As much time as you have, invest into your kids. If you have hobbies that take away your time, just invest that time into your kids because your kids are only there for a certain time. After they're going to leave, you're going to have all this time to do your hobbies and whatever your heart desires. And for women, I can't ask much because you already do everything, like those lioness that I was talking about earlier. But I would ask you this. Please encourage your husbands to be a man in your house, to be a father to your children, and to be a faithful husband to you. Thank you.